All right, everybody. Awestruck Comic Podcast Reviews Day. Doing it again. Reviews Day. Quick plugs on the Idiosyncratic Pulp. I posted some fun stuff today. I posted the Moan in the Bar, the Bavarian from
What the?
What the
What?
12.
What the?
Bill Ray, wonderful Bill Ray with
Incredible Bill Ray.
yeah, so that's super fun. Pop some of those screenshots in here. We had a good spotlight. We did a point 0.5 episode, which kind of goes into like a full super plug. So we just did like super plugs with
Right.
some Stephen Platt breakdown,
It's
was
a
more of the stuff that we
it's a super
do on the
plug
sides.
that focuses on Mark's house, Mark's corkboards.
Well, it also, yeah, but I think we kind of get into, the admirable position in which you have like almost, 1,300 posts of Supreme, which I don't think I understood that, until I'm like, is that number 1,200? And you're like, uh-huh. And I'm like, Jesus God.
One a
So
day. One a day
yeah,
adds up.
I know. It's really disciplined to do one a day. I'm not that. I used to be kind of good at it, and then now I have not been. So, but we're gonna jump right into reviews. Reviews. Let's do this.
Jumping right in to what may be my book of the week.
Oh yeah, this is your book week, like a hands down. Now, I posted this because
We both.
it's so funny. The other day when you called me, or we were talking to each other, and you were like, "You have to read. Are you going to reread the first one?" I was like, "I don't know. It came out like a year ago, right?" No, it came out July of 2023, which is kind of
Ooh.
bonkers. That's a
Yes, that is
long.
like 20 months ago.
Yeah, that's almost 2 years ago. So
Almost to
like,
the day. 20 months.
whew. However, I don't care. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You said on what the show, I guess maybe on the news, you're like sometimes things are like a chore, or you're not in the right mood for it, right? It was like the mood, like I was in the
Yeah.
right mood to read this
Yeah.
one. This I think is just the easiest comic book to read. I feel like Wade stuff in the last 2, 3 years have been is the easiest stuff to read. Doesn't matter what
He,
I'm feeling.
listen, his
It's
Marvel stuff is good, but his DC stuff is just ever more readable.
yeah,
It's and everything he writes lately seems to be evergreen, except for JLA, which is just in the shit. It is just in the mist. Just League Unlimited. JL,
yeah. We'll see.
but
I
it's
mean, I
still
I want to see that crossover. What happens after that crossover? I feel like he was coming out of a bunch of ideas, working other people's ideas with all the all in and the setup. So I'm not even sure
yeah.
if Absolute Power was successful. I don't know because I didn't really care about it because I just wanted to go to the next thing. Not
No,
the
it's
best.
it's it's
Not
like 75%. Here's the idea. Here's what we're doing. But that
right.
other 25% was really intertwined with the other monthly comics. But
Yeah.
I think it's still okay. But this book, rereading issue one because I did the same thing. I
Yeah. I had to
hadn't read
reread
this.
issue one. Um, Everything's still the same format and everything. I like the purple one. This is really good. This is a Black Label book, so essentially, like when we think of All Star Superman, that's Superman dying. This essentially is a Luthor has some type of illness,
Right.
and this I didn't look at. I just was going with it, and it just went everywhere. And at the very end, I do have some editorial notes, which
Right, you got
I'll get
notes?
into. Oh, I have some notes. Shocking. I have some notes, but kind of right off, I knew that you would be excited. He's like, "We got to go." He grabs a Legion ring. I'm like, "Yes!" So we're gonna get
Yes.
Wade Legion.
You know what's great about this Legion? They're adults. It is the adult version of the Silver Age Legion of superheroes.
Right,
And
right,
that's
right.
and I mean not just adults, they're like age equivalent to Superman. And that's a smart move. Because if you have, they knew if Superboy was going there, well, Superman wouldn't want to go there when they're teenagers. Like he doesn't want to hang out with a bunch of teenagers. He's like, no,
Right,
I want to hang out with equivalent aged superheroes.
right, right.
So
Yeah, and just like Brian Hitchin, and I know that the delay, from what we understand, is Kevin Nolan.
yes, Kevin
Because I'm
Nolan is
just,
like 70 years old. He's old.
it's kind of incredible how good he is, though. Like how
Yeah.
good he is in
People
touching each of these and making it a little bit his own, but it's not as heavy as Kevin Nolan can be. Like I
yeah,
think of like
he's
a
respecting the
Superman
pencils, I think.
Aliens. I think so. Yeah, I feel that, but I feel like it depends on who he's working with. He may just like he might just take over, or they might just give that to him. Like I imagine that because I think he worked with Jurgens a few times. Um, the Superman aliens I really like, but that's
Yeah, Serena
super
Reynolds is
heavy.
great.
And
Yeah, that
but if you look at that, and then we look at Chris Sprouse with Wildcats aliens, is he leaves a little bit of Chris Sprouse. He pulls back, kind of like
Right, right.
this, you know.
No, there was a
Uh,
point, dude. We were just like he had a Kevin Nolan right before he started doing the ABC work. He did that right, the Wildcats aliens. He did the Superman aliens. He did
hmm,
um where the Distant Fire, right? He did a John Buscema book. He did a Gil
hmm,
Kane book. Like he was inking the last, almost the last Gil Kane book, almost the last John Buscema book.
right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
and they were. It just made me fall in love with him again. Because I'm a big Kevin Nolan fan. I love like his paintings from the '80s. Like I was actually going out and actively collecting all Kevin Nolan artwork. So to see him do Tomorrow Stories,
Hmm.
original stories with Alan Moore, mwah, like Chef's Kiss.
That's
Like
his favorite. From what I understand, that's his. I think it even says it in the bio in the back. I think it even says like that's his favorite work of his own. Makes sense, you know.
yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's
Uh,
wacky.
yeah, that makes
But here,
sense.
he does a good job. He respects what Brian Hitch is laying down. They work together really well on Batman No Grave. Grave? What was the Warren Ellis 12 issue maxi series? Brian Hitch drew.
Yeah, I forget something grave, but the thing I didn't like about that, and I know it was intentional, is Warren Ellis does not do sound effects. I don't he or
Okay,
he purposely did not do sound effects in that, and I just don't think it. I don't like it. I don't know. That book was fine. It was fine.
that's on.
Um,
It moves. It's a really fluid, fast moving Batman Law and Order episode. You know, he's like trying to figure stuff out in a way. But well drawn. The fight scenes look pretty brutal. Like they just try to do it real. That's what
yeah,
he was trying to do. In comics, sometimes you like realism, sometimes you don't.
yeah. I don't know. This I think is a good balance of the fantastical and the real.
Yes,
This was pieces of this were in the first issue, so it was kind of cool to read them back to back, where you have pieces of you have
it's
the color angle. I want to say that like one of the panels is the same. I know this is the same right there, where he's looking angry.
yeah.
That's the same. But even the effects, even the color effects, the Dave Barron color effects of them being like holograms on the memory itself,
She's in his memory. So it's like
yeah, really
it's a
fun.
really backwards move, and it works really good.
Yeah, all the reveals are real good. God, look how scary and angry that is. It's so scary. So okay, so it didn't work up there with Brainiac. All right, let's go to the Mascara. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Let's
She
see if that's gonna work.
and she's just
Um,
angry. She knows why he's there, and she's like, "Why are you doing this?" Because she's a warrior.
yeah, well,
Her,
I didn't even put the first couple pages in. Basically, the conversation that Lex has when he distracts Superman in the first issue gets broadcast. That's kind of a big thing where, and Superman's approval rating is in the toilet because of
the world
this
wants Lex Luthor dead,
poll.
and
Right, they're
Superman's the only
fine.
person who like is like, "No, I gotta save him. He's a human being."
Right, right, right. And then even Jimmy kind of fights a little bit with Lois on it, and then Lois is like, nope. And then he hears it. So Superman's like fully aware. This is the best Superman writing. I don't know in how long. I'm not sure. Like just all around, just really, really wonderful. I
It
feel
just
like this
sounds.
is this is
You
really
never think
soft
he's
too.
not Superman. It's
Nah, no way. Yeah.
he's got the voice down, the patterns down. Like this is Mark Waid. Like, yes, you people need to have me on Superman.
Yeah, and this is the reverse of like he's revering us where I think it has it in the mindset that we revere him, right? So he
Yes,
reveres us as the of that you're made of tissue
yeah,
paper and yet you can do anything. So you're his
yeah,
heroes.
really inspirational. Like he's really putting his all into this. Unbelievable that Didio did not want this book to come out. Didio turned it down multiple times. He just had a problem with Mark Waid. They're just two, comic book alphas. They're not real alphas. They're comic book alphas coming
Right.
at each other. So they just butted their bald heads and couldn't come to this book. Couldn't make this book happen.
That's
But
okay.
Jim Lee's like, soon as Dan was gone, Jim Lee called up Mark Waid. He's like, "Hey, Dan's gone. Let's do everything.
Let's do everything.
Everything,
What
Mark."
what do you got in your drawer? Yeah, like what do you got in your drawer? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Themyscira didn't work. Let's go to Tritonus. So that's fun.
Yes.
And actually, we had Lori last week,
Lamar's.
2 weeks ago.
Oh,
We
and
had her.
Aquaman.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Last week.
Yeah.
So again, I welcome that. That's fine. They play around a little bit in memories here as well. They played a little bit
Ugh.
around with the telepathy.
the
Great.
heartache, the heartache that they couldn't be together. It's there. It's good. And even like they're such an
Everyone
advanced.
feels it too. Like that's what
Yeah.
I think is interesting. It's like, well, yeah, I know, but it's all felt.
Like that's her husband. And he's like, "Oh no, no. I feel her love for him. I understand." He's not like angry. It's not like, oh, yes, the ex-boyfriend. No, it's like I hurt for my wife because I
Mhm.
understand everything because we all share everything. Super
Yeah,
advanced, super progressive.
yeah, it's a very and then a little craziness. So I guess just because oh, that's right, because he gets the thing down there
Yeah,
and then feeds it to him, and then he basically gets in the consciousness of everything, and then feels all of that.
feels
Feels
it
that
all.
what issue was that? That was like Superman 6 or 7, the John Byrne issue, the John Byrne Laurie redo, because that's what this
Yes.
is referencing essentially, which is fine.
Yeah.
Um, Even though I don't love a lot of that John Byrne stuff. So, uh, and then so you know what this I thought this page was pretty funny. So here's a double spread splash page of all right, so that doesn't work. Let's instead of going, this could be 10 issues, instead
This
of
could be 10
going
issues.
to Ran, instead of going to Thanagar, instead of
Ugh.
going to Oa. I actually kind of think it's funny. Did I reference it? Let me see. Yeah, I did. I feel like maybe it was just too painful because I know that basically Brian Hitch like took a pay cut, I think, at a certain point for Hawkman. Hawkman wasn't selling that well, and
I don't think he
he
took a pay
left
cut.
it.
DC was willing to continue to pay him his rate,
Okay.
uh, but they actually made no money on the book. But the book was well received, and they knew they make their money back on trades. It's an easy collection.
That's a
So
Robert Venditti run of Hawkman, which is great. But I feel like they're like, you can draw that. He's like, nah, I'll draw everything but that. I'll draw everything but the Hawkman. I don't
so
know.
did
Probably not.
so they went to Mxyzptlk, they went to the Spectre, they went
Hmm.
to the Dominators from Invasion,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they went to Maxima. I love Maxima, by the way.
Mhm.
Is that Zartox, the guy with his arms folded with a mustache?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so. New Gods went
Of
to my
course, New
father.
Gods. This is just yeah, this is wow.
Yeah, I'll take that. Um,
Hey, did you
and
catch the Bottle City of Kandor in the first issue? That's amazing
no, I
because
didn't.
it's
No.
instead of a vertical bottle like it typically is,
Mhm.
it's like a horizontal because it's a city and the cities are wide.
Yeah, well, I think I did, but I don't think I thought about it until you just said it. Right.
There's a lot of
Um,
thought put into this by both of them.
well, this goes into almost uh Superman 2 territory, because essentially what the reveal essentially is here. He's okay. I'm going to reveal that I'm Clark, and then
Right.
also have that space where I've always been in front of you. But the Luthor, you poisonous snake, that's the line. I believe that's the
Yeah.
exact line that Christopher Reeve says, when he loses his pat, when it was reversed, because essentially he feels he's hurt. And then I knew you would lose your mind when you saw this. I thought you would
Yeah.
lose your friggin'
It was
mind. So I
just
was happy reading this knowing you were reading it. Like, as crazy that is. So
this is all I want in a Superman book. It's just crazy sci-fi ideas. And even though
yeah.
this is just a retread of all the ideas we love,
Mhm.
like give Mark Waid room and maybe he could create his own modern age. Like we always talk about Superman Silver Age being so awesome and Superman Bronze Age is awesome for different reasons. Superman Golden Age, like no one ever says like we were talking earlier on the news about the Jeff Loeb McGinnis era. That was a really neat
Mhm.
era with new ideas, and I don't think we've really gotten that in a while.
Yeah, the that stuff was all like new city stuff, like not just the same
Oh yeah,
Metropolis or New York again. How about New York some more? You know what I mean? It was different. And that was a Brainiac story too. That was
yeah.
a new Brainiac. So
Superman, all that Superman Y2K stuff, and
I guess the third issue is going to be out in hopefully 4 or 5 weeks. So I will
yeah,
take it. Now, okay. I said I would have some trouble. I have some trouble. Okay. Number one, I keep saying that they don't pay editors, right? I feel like Marvel DC are not paying editors. Clearly, no one paid an editor to proofread the back of the book,
oh,
because
why would they do that?
there are no spaces here except for the last line. I understand what they did is they put it into a certain program, and then if it goes in through like a hypertext or some type of coding that's wrong, it's going to do it all like that. It happens sometimes when I put something on Instagram. Okay, that's why I put it in this one program first to space it out. I did it today. It's literally a program called Spacey. Okay, so this is no good. Okay, this is on the
This is
digital.
a
They can fix the digital, but
right.
this book, I imagine, went out printed like this.
Yeah, the digital will be like next week. It'll be fine. But like, how many copies did they
Yeah, they
print
can
of like
patch
a?
it. Right.
Well, what did this book cost on paper? $8.95.
Yeah,
7.95,
7.95,
6.95.
8.95. So just like having all this is just so hilarious to me. Okay. Now, the first issue, I don't remember any reference. I don't remember
Yeah,
references. There's a lot of references. Okay.
this jumps out.
I never want to hear full stop. I hate that. I hate what's the other one I hate? I hate I got this or you got I got this. I hate that. Hate it.
Yeah,
I hate that. Uh you can't go from, the con I understand you can say Hitler, right? Don't say
you can
Putin.
always say
Just
Hitler.
Putin. You can always say Hitler. All right, that's tried and true. Don't put Putin here. No. Diane. Okay, so because again, this was my point, is the references are all over the place. Someone reading it right now is not going to know who Diane Fossey is. Okay, you're not going to know who Diane Fossey is necessarily. I highly doubt it. Highly
You
doubt
talk,
it.
you talking to me?
No, you'll
You're talking.
know. I'm talking like I'm talking like anyone that's 30 or under, they don't know who Diane Fossey is. They'll know what Google is, but Google this 20 years from now, you read this, that's not going to make any sense.
Google might not be the thing anymore. How
Uh,
many people looked at Yahoo 15, 20 years ago?
you don't need to write anything here. You don't even need to ask this question. I don't think. I don't think it's necessary. Streaming this, I can make a fortune streaming. No,
No,
zero.
no, streaming's a
He's
bad
not
word.
thinking about streaming. You think Lex Luthor's thinking about streaming and making money and monetizing streaming? No, 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 no.
Yeah, that's a little.
This is very meta. I actually kind of love this. This is actually the way I feel about it. Magic, you're talking about magic. I hate I hate magic. I hate magic in comics, especially when it has to do with Superman and magic. It's like it's loophole city.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that I love magic. Like I think this is really funny. He like turns inside of it's his own sentence. So that's okay.
Listen, man.
Um
It's funny. Back to streaming for a second because I didn't get chance to finish saying the thought.
mm,
When you hear the word iPod in anything, aren't you like, eeh,
yeah. Yep. Yep.
pager, beeper? It's just things that were hot 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
The first
You
issue, I
know,
don't remember having this. I don't remember anything in the first one that was glaring. This was glaring and then kept happening. And then this here has a side piece. Someone on the side is fine. You know what I mean? Like, or there might be something in the like I want it to be like 50s, 60s vernacular here. I don't want side piece. Side piece I feel like is last 10, 15 years. No good. Okay, so then you're gonna say Nemo. You're gonna say Nemo. So
right, right.
no one's gonna know who that is. So they'll know what side piece is. They're not gonna
Well,
know what
he
this
he
is.
he must mean Captain Nemo.
It's just no.
Ah, see that? That's Captain
Yeah,
Nemo.
no,
No, too good, too much of
nope.
a reference. All right,
Too much, too much.
but he's a
So
captain of a submarine
no, I know. It's just not work. It's no.
because he would have said because Lex Luthor would have said Captain Nemo
He would say
and every
Captain Nemo.
because but the other page Lex wouldn't have said Lois. What's her name? He knows.
Yeah. I didn't even really get what you were saying at first because I don't think of that Nemo. I don't think of Disney. You're saying Pixar Nemo. I wasn't even getting what you were saying. Is that what you mean? So he could be saying Pixar Nemo here. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
I think he's saying Pixar Nemo,
Oh, I
but
see.
I was just making the excuse that maybe it's Captain Nemo
I
from
would think he would say Captain Nemo.
from
I
Twenty
think I'd be
Thousand Leagues Under the
kind of
Sea.
fine with that. That's what I'm feeling.
Oh, okay, I
But
thought you were
you're
mocking the
probably
fact
right.
that he's yeah,
You're probably right.
yeah, probably.
Anyway, throw them
I'm
both
used.
out.
I'm used to it.
No Nemo. Yeah, I know. So
He doesn't talk down to people with pop culture references. He's not pop culture Lex. He would say
no,
something. He'd call him a troglodyte, or he would call him
he's
some
not
sort
going to
of
have
fish.
time. He's not going to have time for that. Doesn't have time for pop culture. He doesn't have time to think about streaming or monet. He's not thinking about monetization. You understand? He's not thinking about streaming technology. No, he might have created streaming technology in the eight, like in
By
this
accident.
concept 80s by accident.
He created
Exactly.
streaming by accident, trying to kill Superman, and someone else monetized off of it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. So
In
you
fact,
take all that stuff out. Again, it didn't bother me that it killed the book for me, but I just thought it was funny. There would be one, then I'm like 2 pages in, like shit. There's another one. God damn it! And then I just,
now
you
no,
know what? I'm collecting all of them. We're gonna
the
see.
last time that really bugged me is when John Byrne was writing Spider-Man Chapter One,
Oh
and he kept
yeah,
dropping in like, "Oh, you're as cool as Tom Cruise," or "You're as hot as Cindy Crawford."
yeah. And I
And
want to
at that
say
point in the
around
late
that
'90s,
time.
neither one of those people were viable. Tom Cruise was dead in the water because Magnolia hadn't come out yet,
hmm
and Cindy Crawford, no one had thought about her in at least 5 years.
Yeah, but that was the chapter one, so that would have made sense. That would have been like the '80s Top Gun. He was dating it
Yeah, but
backwards.
Chapter One is meant to be evergreen.
Well, no, like he's updated. So it's basically like he's updating it to make it a little newer. knowing in 20 years they're going to make another chapter one,
You know what,
which
Mark?
they
I might
kind of
be
do.
wrong. That might even be an Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, that's
It
right,
might
because
not
he
even.
took
It might
over the
be.
Amazing Spider-Man
Yes.
relaunch.
Yes. After chapter one.
And I think right around that time there's a Sopranos reference too in Spider-Man, which I believe that was Spider-Man. No good.
Okay.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Try.
So,
Yeah. Try not to.
like when I think about the Paul Jenkins run, I know there's going to be 0.0 the Paul Jenkins Mark Buckingham run. There's going to be zero references, zero. The Chip Zdarsky ones, probably bits and pieces. I think I would expect that. Okay. So that's okay. Listen, it doesn't matter. Like this is going to be a really good book to have. It's kind of cool that we're getting it. Hopefully they'll get it and trade it really closely to the movie. They won't. They won't. They won't have time. They won't. They
What?
won't think
What are you
about
talking
it.
about?
This book,
Wait. What solicitations are out? June or July?
July.
All
It's
right.
not. There's no collection for this set yet, as far
Not
as I know.
sure.
Yeah, I don't believe
Not
so.
sure.
I say no. So
All right.
okay, so fun week because I
I
had
say
you had
yes.
your favorite
You
book. This
say
was my
no.
favorite book. This was actually like they had an interlude two issue. I told you to read this, but I know that you didn't, and that's okay.
I did not. I
But
said the hell with you.
this is a Doug Braithwaite.
Yeah. You can tell.
Wonderful.
It's it's
Yeah,
just
but
pure.
it's funny. Like I feel like I've been up and down with him on certain things, but
You know what else up and down? Conan and that chick in that
right
scene.
there, yeah, Valeria, I get it.
Good.
No. This is the best. This may be the best. I keep saying, oh, it's the best issue, but this one really good. So, just really excellent, and it is a bit of a callback to, I'd say like 80, Conan, like 80 to 150. It feels a lot like that. It's just him going from place to place. It's more of a journeyman Conan just like beat up. But who is coloring this? Let me go back here real fast. Diego Rodriguez, dangerous Diego Rodriguez. I think that's the Roberto Della Torre, but there's a lot of intricate. This looks dirty, right? This is a little. But you'll see. There's a couple things that he does here, like the flourishes on here, coloring
Yeah,
wise, the
the
shadows.
guy is coloring like crazy.
He's working really
He is
well
he's
with
really enjoying
this,
it. I think he's enjoying this
for sure.
because he doesn't have to do this much work to make this book look this good.
This mist and all that. That's
Yeah.
like it's yeah, just it's real
Also,
subtle.
all the different color greens. Like
And the
some artists would just
flashbacks. Yeah.
yeah,
You're
different.
gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna fade it out in the flashbacks. I like this Conan. This Conan looks a little different, a little tired. Doesn't look like the Delator Conan. This is a great figure, period. I
Yeah,
knew
it's
what
nice.
this was going to be pretty much from the cover. I was pretty sure that it was going to be this. I think there might have been something recently that I knew this was happening, but this is coming up to it. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Look at this. Look how much fun the coloring is. Boom. Zula time.
Look at that.
Um, so they after right here, I went on like a Zula little scavenger hunt. So this Zula, this continuity's Zula's introduction. Okay. But Zula, if you didn't know, was 84. Yeah, Conan 84. So they have a little history of Zula here. Great. Uh, this is kind of cool. So
Is
there's a
Zula a Marvel Comics creation?
yes. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, it's not. Wait.
Is he a character from the novels?
Yes. No, it is. It's appeared in this, and yeah, no, yeah, first appeared in Conan 84, Roy Thomas's Belit arc. Okay. Because we still need to do a little bit of a deep dive on like how Red Sonja is pulled away from all this stuff. We're not
Yes.
exactly sure how that's going on. But if you didn't remember this, well, let's go through the covers first, and then we'll go into my Zula deep dive real fast. Okay, this is cover B. Cover A was Delator. Okay. Rudy on B. Rudy had Marco Rudy did. I'm trying to think. Had a good Winter Soldier series. Does that sound right? Look at how good this Tony Harris book is, man. How wonderful this is.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
Good.
lot going on here, and he did a couple great covers for Dark Horse. So I don't think he's ever done any interiors, but just really great. Just like zoomed in on, and I don't know if he's coloring. I think he is coloring himself. He used to have that J.D. Mittler guy
Did we know he was doing a
color with
Tarzan
him.
cover?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
What else did we know?
We knew he was doing Batman variants that were pretty
Okay.
recent.
All
Yeah,
right.
he did villain Batman variants recently because we saw those at Baltimore. we didn't really talk to him because he was pretty busy with people, and that's okay because he was drawing sketches and he was busy.
No, but
So
and we could hear what he was saying, and we were just
yeah, we
not
were
so much
just
eavesdropping, but we were
wonderfully
eavesdropping.
eavesdropping.
Well, and
I'm not sure who this is. This is a pretty fun.
it looks like
But again, move it around, move the Conan around. So you got this here. So you're going to move the logo over. Okay, Marvel, you hear that? You move the logo over, else this would be covered. You
oh
could maybe cover
Eric
it a little bit.
Eric Donovan.
Eric Donovan with a Y. Yeah,
No,
yeah, just
that's
really
three.
cool.
There's like three Donovans. There's Eric Donovan, Derek Donovan, and Mike Donovan. I've seen three different artists with that same last
Wow.
name.
Hmm.
Eric.
Eric with a Y. This
That's
was pretty cool. So this is the final order cutoff. I don't know if they've done these. I don't feel like that they've done this. They do it a little bit on the trade dress for the omnibuses, the
mhm.
omnibuy, where they're putting the Conan trade
Are you?
dress, and but I love that, having the Marvel Comics group. And again, that's what, I know Larson just did that with his variant cover, his own mock-up of the
Yeah, his
variant
his
cover.
mock-up of the Spider-Man Wolverine miniseries very
There
cover.
should be, yeah, just do the final. Listen, if you want to, just put the final order cost, because not every
You know,
time the art of the interior gets a cover, which I think is
he
wrong.
Eric Larson does that every month. Every month, Savage Dragon,
That's right.
he puts
Yeah.
out the regular cover and he puts one out with a Marvel style banner, which he loves.
Mhm.
But what's cool is like when you buy the paper version, you can pick either or. It's 50-50, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
But
I
the
see.
digital, typically 99% of the time, is the cover without the banner. Because that's like digital, that's modern, that's today.
Mhm.
With the banner is a throwback, and you can only get that on paper. So I kind of like that. I don't know if
Oh,
that's
I
on
see.
purpose or just an accident. But
Probably. It could be on purpose. I mean, he doesn't want to pay, or they don't want to have the bandwidth and server to have the same cover a second time. You know what I mean? So I think Titan has the best production because they're giving you full in their trades. They don't in the trades, they don't have full pages. So the digital, they do something special for their digitals where you get every Titan specific one, even though they have been kind of adding some extras that are not Titan.
gotcha.
So, but yeah, just a fun corner box. I was just pulling up different things here. Here's some Zula
Duh.
action figures. This was, I don't know, this is kind of everywhere. I don't know. Is that Spanish, German? This was a Diamond Select statue set,
Is that during the
which
during the
actually is
Dark
this cover.
Horse? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So this is the cup. This is the first. Well, that's the third or fourth appearance of him. But this cover is one of my favorite covers. Period. Actually, I had it on like the front of my box over here. It's one of my favorite covers. Period. Just really wonderful. I think it's Ernie Chan. Yeah, it's an Ernie Chan inking. And then if you don't remember, they that's one of the first gender swaps. You know,
Okay. Oh
fine. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Again, that was in Conan the Destroyer. Which is funny. That's the only picture I could find. It was on like this guy who like kind of ripped the movie apart. I love Conan. I grew up with Conan the Destroyer and Red Sonja, and then when I was a kid, because I want to say Conan, yeah, the Conan Destroyer was PG. Isn't that weird? But Conan's a hard R. Conan is R. So they PG'd this up. I think I want to say Red Sonja was PG as well, or PG. Yeah, it was PG. So pretty crazy. And then I just started looking around a little bit, and this is from the Conan cartoons.
Yeah.
That's all these are? $35? Like like I need another collection, right? Like I need yet another collection. But some of these I just kind of then I started taking just pictures of, there's a whole group, talking to the pics. Who's this guy? What was that episode about? You know what I mean? Like so now
Looks like
I'm,
looks like Ace or Gary.
I'm gonna buy this.
Sad Conan.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
buy
God.
this one, man.
If you were
Look
to
at
buy
that.
one, just buy that one.
That's the one.
I calls out.
$25? Sad Conan? Oh my Lord. And then I was looking up how much are He-Mans because I'm rewatching He-Man now, and I just thought this one was really funny too. Like just
It was
having like
funny.
this
It's a
little
really
one.
bad. I
And
used to
then
have a one from the Youngblood animated short. I had a
okay.
Vogue, and it was a
Oh
giant
really?
hand reaching out to grab her. Yeah, yeah.
Oh nice. Then I wanted to look at the corner box because I was like, is that corner box was that a the Doug Bradley corner box is that the same? So I look up like Conan cover. But then I'm on another rabbit hole over here with this guy whose name's Simon Williams, who's
That's
not,
funny.
Simon
Who's not Wonder
Williams.
Man?
It's not Wonder Man, no. I mean, maybe. But then I
Maybe.
found these. I'm just like, oh, so this is close to what he's doing, but not really. Is doing the adventurer. So I'm thinking of this. a bit with the stature, but it's a little different. But then I was thinking of this,
That's awesome.
the Castellini, which is not reprinted here.
Castellini, dude.
Please reprint that here. I believe that's liquid colors too. Uh,
Christian
please, please,
Leichtner and
please.
Aaron Lucen.
Please, please, please. Yeah, so Conan, fantastic, and then jump right into another
All right.
gigantic thing
Another big
here.
another big dude.
Batman 6. I don't think I put a ton of pictures in this. I mean, this is just all logical things. They have
Yeah.
like a Dark Knight Return homage, but this is a little bit
Oh, look at those
different.
boots, dude. Yeah. A little bit
You
different,
can
different
see,
angle.
I like it. I wasn't mad at it. I'm not mad
Wow.
at it. I still think he's packing as much as you can into the page. You're packing so many different. I mean, he's putting. I don't want to say almost like two issues of story inside of one. And it seems like they decide on this. This got really super violent, and
It
there
is
we go.
violent. It is
That is
brutal. That is
violent.
awesome. That is, I haven't
Ooh,
seen something like that since Brigade Number Two, ongoing series. Remember, Seahawk had those same pointed helmet, and he took it off and he like stabbed someone with his helmet.
I kind of remember that. I don't remember Brigade Number Two as well as you do. I remember the shiny cover. I remember I saw
It's
recently
that issue.
a
It's the shiny cover
newsstand.
issue.
Yeah, I know, but it's a newsstand. I remember seeing a newsstand recently of that, I think.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, it's
I've yeah,
funny.
because I worked at a pharmacy and we would get. I got the Newsstand Supreme #1, which is just regular paper, no foil,
Mm,
and the Supreme logo is just like pink. It just looked stupid. Like they just
I don't think I've ever seen that. Oh,
no.
that's
I'll,
funny.
I'll send you a scan of the cover.
Yeah, the newsstands are funny.
Yeah, they're terrible. Worst
But
paper.
yeah,
The whole book's on worst paper.
that's right. Yeah, because I think even the spawns were on bad paper.
Yeah,
I think I saw Spawn 4 on the newsstand and it was like rough. It was no good. What was that all about? You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. And they were the same price, I think, right? They were like 195 or whatever.
yeah I think they were still $1.95. Yeah,
So now we have Caretaker, back to normal a little bit,
yeah.
Caretaker
A step into the right.
Alfred.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So yeah, really
And
really
he
good
does
end,
it.
really
And
good end
Alfred
to
does
the
it
to
at
the
a cost
storyline.
to him. I like that.
Hmm.
He does that at a cost to him.
Right, right.
So this is another great issue. Thumbs up.
Yeah,
This every issue's been good.
and then a slightly cliffhanger, very frightening, weird ending.
What
So
is going on here, dude? I do not
I
know.
don't know. It's creepy. Whatever, it's creepy. Another fun G.I. Joe. This is also kind of ending the storyline a bit as well. Really fun coloring. Jordy Belair. The whole team up here, up and down. Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley, Jordy Belair.
Yeah,
Like we this is one of our favorite books. Everything was kind of building to this to have the Clutch there. Clutch has been there for a bit, so for him to call him out here, Clutch hit it. What is a Clutch? So,
yeah.
although I thought it was kind of funny when he was grabbing Baroness. I'm just like, do they know each other in this continuity? They don't, I guess. Like because we Baroness is in Cobra. You know what I mean? So we don't
Yes.
this Baroness here so far is still with the Joes.
Right,
I think
right.
I want to say this is a little lost opportunity, I think here. I feel like with any of the pages you could do this. Here we go. For rock and roll, great. Just one thing left to say. Why is it just that? That's just small, man. I don't know. I just
That
think it's
should have been
weird.
a
It should have
double
been a
page
double
spread.
spread. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that was not. You could cut a double
Do you know what?
spread.
You know what he could sell that page for? Those two pages
Ugh.
for?
You
And he
said
could
he's
have.
paper, yeah.
He's
You said
paper.
he's ink, yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing because you would think he was more digital. You know?
Yeah, I
But
mean, I would think. I mean, he might do some Photoshop effects
oh no,
or
yeah, I'm sure he's
like
enhancing
doing
it
some
before he gives it to.
screens.
Yeah, he's scanning it, doing something to it, then handed it off to the colorist. The
There's some of that motion
colorist.
blur. I
Yeah,
like that motion blur. I mean, that's to me that's a James Harron motion blur, which is kind of taken from a Chris
I
Bacalo
think
motion
I
blur,
think
which is
Tom
taken
Riley's not
from.
drawing issue like 8 or 9. I think there's a fill-in issue.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I would almost put this on maybe not hiatus, but like we talked about it before, where I think Kirkman, you said he doesn't like now the breaks.
Yeah, I think he gave a break to avoid rivals, and I think it just didn't. Maybe it hurt the next issue sales. He's like, we got to keep this monthly. It works, and it works on. I guess the first to really do it was the Larry Hama series. It's
Hmm.
like you had Mooneyham doing it, and then you got Pelletier for 2 issues, and then
Right.
Mooneyham's back, and then Andrew Krelke,
Crunky. Yep.
Krelke. So yeah, we don't care.
Yeah,
We don't.
or you can do if you have a break, maybe still have but well, actually, I think next month is like nothing but GI Joe. I don't know if they're gonna have a Real American Hero next month and then have like five one shots. They're having all the silent one shots, I believe, next
Yeah,
month.
that'll be
So
fun.
are you gonna have six? You're gonna have eight issues of GI Joe next month?
Listen, there are some
Fine
people
by
only
me.
going to the store to buy these Energon books and those that GI Joe book. So for
Uh,
obsessive fans, that's incredible.
yeah, every issue. One thing that Williamson I think is really good with is you're doing. He's going
Yes.
into it's so toy. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, look at how fucking toy that is.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And yeah, man, whatever she's doing with these colors, like it's
You
so
when
impactful.
you
God
first discovered
damn it.
her, you're like, man, she just loves these oranges.
Yeah, but I
And
remember
then
calling you and complaining about it. I
yes,
called you
yeah,
about Tom Strong. I was like, who the fuck is this? Jordy Belair? Who
you're
the
like,
fuck?
I don't like it.
I don't like this at all. I was upset about it.
And
Yeah, it
then look
was
how
like
jarring
those
this
were
is.
Peter Hogan minis. Is that right?
Yes,
That
Peter
sound
Hogan.
right?
Definitely
Yeah,
not Paul
two
Hogan.
minis. Uh, no, not Paul Hogan. Not
Oi,
Crocodile Dundee.
that's not a knife.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just it's funny. It still feels it's so weird too because she started doing this style a little bit on Birds of Prey in a series that with Leonardo Romero, not that different than this artist. And I didn't like it there. Well, I didn't really care about the story. That was a Kelly Thompson's kind of flat,
Yeah.
but I just was, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm a big this color here. I've used this color a
The
couple
orange and
times
blue,
in
man,
this.
it's so distracting.
Ooh,
It's so good. And what a great, like, who the hell are you? Yeah, why would he know? He doesn't know that. This is like, to us, this is like Prime and Megatron meeting, except they don't have a history.
right.
Cobra's some crazy whack job from another dimension or from another side of space. It's not real clear exactly his origins here.
Yeah, and I know that the character, the scientist, who was in the Cobra Commander series. So this is kind of building up. This is six or seven issues. This is the same Cobra Commander through.
Yeah.
So we've had this Cobra Commander being all wacky, who isn't alongside Destro. Like Destro's not his lackey, So this is a little bit different of the
You
mix there as well.
you do need Mark to get caught up on Void Rivals.
I know. I started to. I started to last weekend, and I just got, how things go.
Because Void
Uh,
Rivals is the real clinch pin. It's the real.
yeah, I know. I know that the most recent issue, a lot of stuff. Oh God, must have folded him. So here's the variants here for the week. Here's the
We'll
David
take it.
Finch.
We love David Finch.
That's a Ryan Sook. Yes, Carl Kerschel. I believe there's a connected on that. Sounds good.
Looks good.
And then this is not a variant by Ben Stenbeck, but instead this is. So I complained about the first issue. This is the Serpent in the Garden, Ed Gray in the last battle for England, colon, semicolon, semicolon. This is the last. This is kind of the closing of about three or four different BPRD, Edward Gray, Witch Hunter. Uh, I'm trying. There's one other Colshay.
If only you had Baltimore in here too.
Yeah, yeah,
Bring them
yeah.
all. You know what I mean? Bring them
I
all
don't
in.
know if Baltimore is from the. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure.
In my mind, he is.
I think you may be right. You may be right. My
I
only
agree.
concern is I looked at the flow stations for June or July, and this has a hardcover coming out, and there's
Yes.
no BPRD coming out, and I don't know where that Avon book is. Where's that like Avon Oming books, three issues? I just don't think that we should get into a habit of having a month of no Magnolia product. I don't want to get into that world.
Well, Mark,
There's been
you can take that month to
a
read as
month.
a hardcover.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. To which I do not have a physical copy of still. But I probably will have to get a physical copy of this. I really, really enjoyed this. First off, I love this Gruglock character from Wild
Yes.
Hunt. So I love this. Of course, I love Ed Gray getting like gigantically tall and being like a
Yep.
kaiju and beating the crap out of him here. So,
Take that, God's
and just
house.
really, and this just reminds me so much of like the last one or two issues of Hellboy. Was it Darkness Calls? It's just a big fight and fine. And Ben Stenback is just really pushing it.
You know, it's hilarious, Mark. I would love to know if they are growing and shrinking panel to panel. Because one panel they're as big as a house, the next panel they're bigger than mountains, and
Right,
then
right,
the
right.
next panel they're barely above trees.
And then
And
gone.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, this is great. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, and I like the different texture inking here. I imagine it's got to be cleaned up in Photoshop. I was trying to look to see whenever I think about panel borders, I think about Steve Dillon because Steve Dillon, I know his panel borders, especially towards the end of Preacher, was just like a marker. It was a Sharpie. I think
Yeah.
he was doing Sharpies at the end. So to see it a little unsteady, which I think it is here, I wonder if this is on paper. I imagine that that's on paper. Um, but I forgot. Yeah, I actually kind of forgot that we do see, I believe, in one of the Hellboy Minster's kind of the origin of this character too,
Yes.
and was
Yeah.
also in the Hellboy.
The Corpse in the Iron Shoe.
Yeah, well, yeah, but this character was in as the pig guy. He was in the David Harbour,
Yes.
um, and done
The
really
the
well.
Wild Hunt.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was just called Hellboy, but yeah, that is the essentially the Wild Hunt. It's a bummer that didn't
Wild
do
Hunt.
well because that would have been really fun for. All right, and then you have Ed Gray kind of just
I
going
still haven't
off.
watched The Crooked Man yet, and I know it's on something. God,
Crooked.
he's crooked.
Crooked Man. Yeah, I believe it's on Hulu, and it's really weird because the picture that they have, they like saturate Hellboy up at this heavy red, and I'm like, that's not what it looks like in the movie. I don't know. Like, it's fine. Well, whatever is going to make anyone click on that thing. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be bad if they would be able to do a show with that guy.
Yeah,
You know, how much is that going to cost? I don't know.
I can't imagine.
Um, Good, but I don't know. I don't know. I do kind of like I like all of them. I like all the Hellboy movies, period. But I think that the most I like bits and pieces of each one. The first one's probably the closest to the book, but I don't think it's that newish. The second one is a little further away from the book, which actually fractures the relationship of
Right.
Mike Mignola and that because
And
it's
Del
it's
Toro. Right.
it's
Right.
more of a Del Toro movie. The
Yes.
Hellboy with BP already with
Did that
Daimyo.
did that come out after Pan's Labyrinth?
Yes.
That's what I remember thinking.
Pan's Labyrinth, he got into his own he
Hmm.
started, he's buying his own press.
Mark,
And that's fine.
you know what we
Yeah.
got to find? Del Toro's Incredible Hulk TV show designs. What the hell was he doing with that
Oh,
show?
right, right, right.
Remember what I'm
Right.
talking about? It was supposed to be on Channel 6.
Yeah.
Disney, it wasn't, I don't think Disney had bought them yet. Not positive about that.
Mhm.
But they were going to do an Incredible Hulk show, and he was doing it. He was going to at least direct the pilot. What the hell was that show going to be? Was it going to be crazy, wacky, Del Toro, weird monsters?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Was Hulk
Monster of
going
the
to look
Week,
like
the Hulk
Hulk?
versus Monster. You know what I mean? Can we have
Yeah,
some drawings on that? There's been stuff that he's had diaries printed, so I wonder if there's any loose ideas there.
we'll have to do some
No.
research.
Yeah, you're right. We need to get into that. So, happy ending. Ed Gray, very, very good. Um, Morgan Le Fay going to the lake. Great, great, great.
Yep.
Absolute Flash. We talked a little bit about this. This is a slow burn. This is going to be a slow burn book, basically. This is a really good number one. And when I was reading this, also super easy to read.
Yeah.
It is very,
Easier to read than the actual Flash comic that is going on right now.
yeah. This is a hand to somebody, man. Like this is
This
like
is a
all of these
Ultimate
absolute
Spider. This
number
is like
ones.
Ultimate Spider-Man, easy,
Right, but I want
emotional.
Wally. This is the first Wally that we've had because I feel like since Jeff Johns insisted upon bringing Barry back. We never wanted to bring Barry back, and me and you. I mean, our age group, but and then we always thought that the people that wanted that are too old, and they're all dead.
They.
They're dead now.
It's not that I didn't want Barry back. It's like I knew they were going to leave Wally in the dust,
Hmm.
and Wally had become such an important character from 1985 through 2000, whatever,
Yeah, it's like 20 years. So I
2006.
just right. So
And I don't like I said, I don't mind Barry coming back. Every time Barry almost came back, it was incredible.
mhm.
Whether it was like Mark Wade's run or that life story of the Flash or him showing up in did he show up in Infinite Crisis? I know he came back officially in Final Crisis.
Yeah, I think he shows up in Infinite Crisis, but like again, I just feel like you could have just written that little bits. You can have him show up and give him advice. He could have him as Obi-Wan Kenobi, please. You know what I
I
mean?
almost
Like
like the idea of
just
like I can show up from time to time, but I'm kind of stuck in the future. Like I'm in a future where
yeah,
I can outlive the crisis that I died in and make
right,
it something so like you can't always keep going back to it.
right. He
Because
times fast it.
the idea, yeah, like a time's fasting.
Hmm.
except he's alive and not dead.
Right.
Oh
Right.
well. Why did they call us, Mark?
I don't.
See, you could bring back Hal Jordan because he that was like unfair the entire way through.
Yeah, no one bought into that right off. Like no one like that right off. And then they were just like, all right, how many years we have to hold on to this?
Yeah,
4 or 5. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like then they're like, all
Hal
right, let's
Jordan
go
never would
there.
have turned evil. Hal Jordan becomes an inspector. It was like bad idea, bad idea. You know, even though we have nostalgia for it, but like Green Lantern Rebirth just works on every level. And
Hmm.
Jeff Johns comes in there and he sews it all together and the brings creates the parallax idea and just Sinestro and it's a master class of comic storytelling was what Jeff Johns does with Green Lantern. So when they ask for a repeat performance on Flash, it's like nobody nobody kind of cares.
Yeah,
Like Hal Jordan's back.
it
It'd be
wasn't as
neat.
resonant.
It's
Yeah.
like it'd be neat to have him back, but it's not as important,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Yeah. No one's clamoring for that like brave and the bold like togetherness. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessary. Um,
But doing a special event every year, because not only can Barry come back and talk to Wally, but he can go hang out with Hal. Oh, you're back, Hal? Everything's great, cool. Hal's like, well, let's stay here. And he's like, I can't. Oh, well, now you got some really interesting stuff. And if you want to, tell a Barry Allen story set in the future.
mhm.
Well, what's that like? Well, what are rogues like 1,000 years from now? What's their heritage? What's their what's happened? Where's
Yeah,
Superman?
almost like a Flash Beyond. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Almost like a Flash. Because that's what was
Uh,
interesting about Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond was like the evolution of like the Royal Flush Gang. Was that the first issue? That was the first episode. I want to say,
yeah,
or
yeah.
close to that. You
And
know?
then they give us a Black Cat moment because he falls in love with one of the teen girl member of the Royal Flush Gang.
Right.
So
Right.
they give us like this interesting love triangle.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Awestruck Solutions. Just
All
calls
Star Solutions Department,
DC.
everybody.
Call us up 20 years ago and here's a better idea.
I got to go back. I don't think I looked. I don't think I saw the Declan Shalvey, big Declan Shalvey fan. I don't think I saw the variant cover for that. I looked that up. The Jeff Lemire one's funny because the Jeff Lemire one is a Silver Age callback. Of like you must buy this book type of thing. So
Yes.
Nick Robles, I don't know who this guy is. I don't remember seeing him
I
anywhere. I
didn't
think we
I
talked
didn't
about
look him
that
up.
before.
Yeah, I didn't look him up, but
Um,
he
like
succeeds.
really, really good. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of this typeset. This is kind of the Russo brothers like giant words, and
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that. I think that's really fun. The jumping in time in here I think was really good. Um, I knew this was going to happen. Essentially, Barry bringing this kid in and being a wanted mentor for him. I knew that
Yes.
was going to be a bad dad situation.
Now
I
that
wasn't
bad dad.
expecting this. Well,
Now is that bad
protective
dad
dad.
going to be Iris's brother?
Oh,
The answer is yes,
oh,
because
maybe.
she's Iris West.
Oh, that's right. Right, right, right.
Yeah, I did not expect this either.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I think what I thought it was great. I'm actually fine for this. I'm fine for having. I mean, listen, if you're going to have Flash, and you're going
The
to have the
the
Rogues.
page before I didn't when I saw the flying boomerang, I didn't connect right away to Captain Boomerang. And then when you get Captain Cold, because you're always going to get Captain Cold first.
Yeah,
He's the Flash villain. You're like, oh, Boomerang. Oh, his sister. I guess half sister because she looks like she's like mixed,
right.
and then Trickster.
Yeah, the Trickster's crazy looking. That
Oh yeah, it
that that
doesn't look
that
like any
helmet,
version of Trickster, yeah.
and that helmet kind of reminded me of like a lot of the Tinian villains. Like it's very anime, or
Yes.
even Dragotta doing some of that stuff. So
East to West had some stuff like that too. Yeah, you're right.
right, right. So yeah, I'm excited to see. Again, this it has to be dark because again, it felt very much like a regular Flash story. Kinda, and then you have this at the end. You're like, oh, that's right, I forgot. You know what I mean? Like this is a dark universe.
Yeah, I like that it's like, hey, let's do Flash, but kind of do it like the Incredible Hulk. Like here's
Mhm.
the Hulk's abusive father. They're on a military base. They're doing secret experiments. Barry's, Bruce
He's
Banner in
on
this.
he's on the run. He's on the
Yes.
run. So flash forward 1 year later, and then because again, we don't get his costume. We don't get any adventure with him just yet. So get bits and pieces of it here. You have to have Mirror Master show up. Exactly.
Right.
Rogues.
Are they
Rogues,
creating
rogues, rogues.
a gorilla race?
I
Is that
don't
is
know.
that from Barry's
Yeah.
experiments? He creates the intelligent gorillas for Grodd. Is that what's the tar guy from Jeff
Uh
Johns' creation? Tar Pit? Yeah, we'll call him Tar Pit.
yeah, yeah.
Call him Lava Lips.
That's a
Lava
that's a
lips.
that's a really yeah, that's a more scary demonic looking one, so
Yeah,
um so moving right along, Dynamite Thundercats lost. Also really, really good. Actually, I have an Ed
yeah.
Brisson back-to-back review here. I don't know why this is the cover. I understand a little bit, but like out of the covers,
It's not
that's
the
that's
best
the
one.
A cover. This could be the A cover, or this could be the A cover, or this could be the A cover, or this. I just feel like if this is about the team,
Or
so I
J
don't
not
know.
yeah, you got a Jay Lee cover. You're not gonna put
Yeah.
that on first.
And there is a incentive cover that the actual artist Rafael Labosco, who Rafael Labosco I think did that Apex one shot, which was great, which is also Ed
Yeah,
Brisson,
yeah.
which was really really good. So again, really solid team, great first issue. Again, we knew a little bit about this team from was this a season one, late season one that we saw all these characters?
I think it was like season 2 or 3. It was like
Okay,
season 2 at the very minimal.
yeah. So I mean that's
Um,
I'm rewatching Thundercats an episode a day. I'm on those shit like four,
you're
so
like doing He-Man and
I'm doing
Thundercats.
He-Man and Thundercats. Yeah.
Now, if you noticed, Ligon there is on the ground. Ligon is a liger, which is a female tiger and a male lion having a kid.
Hmm.
And because of because they're not quite genetically matched, they make a hybrid child. But their growth, something's off with their growth hormone where they keep growing throughout their lives. So ligers, if you ever look, are bigger than either tigers or lions. That's why Napoleon Dynamite's so obsessed with ligers. He's like, remember he's drawing them all the time. So that's what Ligon is. His parents were one was a tiger, one was a lion.
Wow.
And so one's a yeah, and it's a you can have a tie-on too or something, or it's like a liger and a tie-on in case the parents gender switch.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
they just make these extra large, huge cats.
I don't think I know
Um,
anything about this.
yeah, I'm a science guy.
Yeah.
Ben Galley though. Whew.
Yeah, I always love that name. I always
Yeah,
love
because
that.
it's a Bengal tiger.
Yeah. And I remember this cat. I don't remember what this character's name is, but I remember this character being very like burned into my brain uh as a
Yeah,
villain.
it's like a English bulldog.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is going to be like if this is like the original. I feel like most of these series they'll have to have like an original
So
thing.
did you pick up on this bottom word balloon?
Mm,
I want to
no.
know why it is the cats have sought to return to Third Earth more than a millennium after we rid ourselves of them. Does that mean this takes place 1,000 years in the future?
Right. Right.
Or
Right.
was
Well, it
there
says
cats?
lost, right? I don't know. I'm not
Are they
sure.
lost in
Yeah.
time? Is that
Sounds good to
why
me.
Lionel's so old with the you know what I mean? With the one eye and the shaved head, like
So is that established this is this world? I mean, I think so, because I think even at the end of that they were saying like it's going to be, it'll be in that, but I don't know.
don't know either.
I
But
will.
we'll see.
Yeah, this was the bonus covers. This is the Rafa Lobosco. And again, that could have been well, I'm into it if it's the A cover. Like I just I or I don't I guess any of them. I don't know. I understand the cover that they chose. It's just I would have rather had that. So Silverhawks, another Ed Brisson, but I guess the first one I was so curious on how they were going to do it.
Right.
They're doing a very slow burn here, and I'm fine with it. So this episode this episode,
Yeah.
it's funny. This issue, they are basically establishing these characters are establishing some because this cat character, the girl becomes a villain later on.
Hmm.
So yeah, just by having a lot of this, I
Aren't they all
remember this
villains?
character a little bit. Like again, I was only peripheral on Silverhawks, so
Yes. Yeah, it
uh
was like we were slightly older. Like we were kind of we didn't want to be done, but we didn't have time for this. Like we had started to get
yeah.
interested in girls and comics. Comics kind of took over for my love of cartoons for a minute.
Yeah, this was a situation where I feel like I was attracted to like the villain. Like this design,
Because he
that
looks like
design.
evil Lion-O.
Yes. Yeah, it just that design for whatever reason like really really hit. So, yeah, so the covers we kind of went over the covers earlier, but we know Mark Spears gets all the different variants and all the different. This
Yeah.
was like Baron Karza in the background. I don't know who that is. But again, I want this to be five. I imagine it's gonna be 5 issues or so for this opening arc, and I'm just happy that it's gonna be
It's the most invested I've ever been in Silverhawks.
it relaxed me in this issue for whatever reason, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know what we're doing now.
Except for Silver Cops.
were the first but I don't know. I just feel that they did this having this come into, being a little bit longer and better,
Yeah, that's what she
this
said.
is the same thing. I think I only have like a couple pages of this because essentially we talk about this every month. This is again
This is great.
very easy to read. The only picks I grabbed from this essentially are him being, Dick Grayson being like kind of riotous, a little bit.
Yeah,
And that's fine.
he's very confident, and he's like, yeah, of course I got away. Like, what I'm Robin.
I think that again, the last two issues or so, or the only reason he even ran out and ran away, essentially, is because Bruce has started to discount him, which I think is probably pretty easy to do.
Yeah,
And he doesn't talk to him, so this was a lot. This was him pushing back a little bit. They not,
right.
not that you're a kid and all that, but I guess I've never thought about how much work he had to have done as a as
Oh
a
yeah, yes,
a trained circus performer. You
yeah.
know,
That's a yeah. It's a
I don't
lot.
know.
It's a lot.
I don't know. I don't do that. You
You
know.
live for it. You live your life for that.
Yeah.
Because one mistake and you could die.
Yeah. Just really, really good. Again, wonderful cartooning. I'm not sure how much this feels a little more scripted than I know that they worked in the past. Probably some of the action stuff is a little bit looser. But again, Mark Waid is the easiest read right now. And again, this is going to make a really nice collection. Be very easy to give away. This I put in.
He needed a
Knew
little
it.
help with this issue.
I knew it. This is kind of the problem when you have someone who's like an all-in-one. Is you had Norm Rapmond, which who we like,
Right.
but there is a little bit of inconsistencies between the Bruces, between the pages. So that Bruce looks a little different, and the coloring is a little different. So again, it's really difficult to have Miguel Janine on
It's a
this.
touch jarring when he gets help from someone.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
at the very least, they try to do certain scenes with other people. Like that would have been the smarter move. This is good.
yeah.
It's good scenes though. It's all good story stuff. It's all good. The Joe
I'm
Chill.
just I'm just against I'm against Joe Chill being alive. I feel like the Joe Chill I feel like okay, I like Joe Chill being potentially out there still, and he never finds him. That's one Joe Chill theory. The other Joe Chill theory I like a lot is or what I would like is I like the Batman Begins, where he's going to kill him. He's going to take his revenge and then he gets killed in front of him. And then he's robbed of that revenge. So he now,
When did they and we don't I don't know if you know the answer. When was he named Joe Chill? And
I
when was
don't
the
know.
first time we brought him back?
I am not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel
I
like
mean,
it was an
I always
annual
think
or something, I
I always
think.
think about like year two, right? Wasn't that a Joe Chill story
I don't remember.
or
Joe,
something
that was the
around that
Reaper
time?
story. That was the Reaper.
Yeah, but didn't he get the gun?
Yeah, he got the gun. Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. I just it's more of like a very Silver Age, like it's kind of like lore that we know about, but we may not have like actually read the issues of where they came from. We just always
Yeah.
kind of knew that. We always kind of knew. I think we need to have a deep dive on like on a Robin dying, like Robin's dying over and over again in the book, continuity or non-continuity, and then also because Dark Knight came out, didn't Dark Knight come out? And then there's a Robin there. He alludes to a Robin being dead, but that's before Death in the Family or something. Like, isn't
Oh
that
yeah,
like,
it's like 3 years before Death in a Family,
so like,
and poor Jason, or like what he says Jason.
yeah, right. But is Jason even established at that point? I don't know.
Yeah, he was in the issues
I think
right
so.
after,
But remember,
before or after year one.
Well, the New Adventures, no, that's when they like reintroduce a Jason Todd
Yeah,
stealing the tires. But they
yes,
have a Jason Todd who's has red hair, so we have to go through that,
right.
which they kind of brought back with Red Hood stuff. They kind of have him like, oh, I dye my hair black. They kind of mentioned that previously. So I just don't
Right.
like,
So people don't think it's a different Robin.
yeah, I know. I just don't like, I don't know. I just don't like going back on this, on going back and, I don't know. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know. I feel like this storyline is just like every issue I've liked less. So Tom Taylor always has to monkey with stuff. He did it on Nightwing, and it didn't really plus minus anything. It doesn't matter. The next person come in and throws it all out.
It don't matter.
So, yeah, Dick Tracy 8 again, super solid. I think I only, same thing. We're trying to be tight on the reviews. I really like this guy's art, man. The first issue, I didn't really like it because I didn't want the style per se, but I think everything kind of works up and down. I think all the acting is really, really good in
Yeah,
everything
and this comic
across.
is nothing if not about acting and dialogue and
It's so
character
pulpy,
interaction.
man.
Yeah,
So pulpy.
Alex
It's,
Segura loves pulp shit.
yeah.
So that's pulp shit. No, he loves it. He breathes it. So why wouldn't you do the most pulpy comic character?
And I guess just like was this just kind of a trope? Like we're just gonna have acid. It just made me think of Batman. Made me think of the first
It's
Batman movie.
how could you not think about Batman?
Like you just have that. But yeah, just really, really fun. The I'm on my way. Again, just give me that little bit of fan service there. Was the I'm on my way, was that I think I had an I'm on my way t-shirt. What a weird situation. What year did that come out? It was
The
89
movie,
Batman. Yeah, was that
90s.
90?
It was
So
summer of 90
so
because
that means that was in
We got Turtles in
production?
March of 90.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My God. So like how is that possible? How is it possible that did Danny Elfman do the score on this, or am I just imagining that?
I think you're imagining that.
Yeah. So, but like
But
how
I'm not positive. You know what,
closely
Mark? Ooh, did he do the theme?
he
Why do I feel like he
maybe.
did the Dick Tracy theme at the very least?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But the whole
I'm
thing is like,
trying to think back to my old. I remember getting the Danny Elfman CD in like '93 or something,
but
and it
everything
had
was
like,
so merchandise. Like everything was such a merchandise situation where like even with this movie, you could buy a t-shirt for like the opening day or opening night or something.
you know what's
It was
funny?
a bit one t-shirt.
As soon as the Batman movie got into the works, they started working on a Green Hornet movie, and they were trying to get a Green Hornet movie every year done. It just never came together.
Right.
Like, and I
Through
don't know if the failure of this movie,
2000.
not that it was a failure, like stop the Green Hornet movie. And then they start working again, and then like the Shadow doesn't do well. Like they kept going after all these pulp characters,
Right. Right.
and the one that probably would have worked would have been Green Hornet because at least he had a show in the '60s,
Right, right, right. Yeah.
and you could have set it in a modern day setting. Now comics did the best. Even though the comics were garbage, now comics did the best thing with Green Hornet, where
Mhm.
their Green Hornet was the '80s '89 version of Green Hornet, where his father was the '60s, the grandfather was the Golden Age, the great
Right,
great
right, right.
great uncle was the Lone Ranger. I think they called him something else because they didn't have the rights to Lone Ranger.
Right, right,
So
right.
like
That's right, because that's continuity. Right.
to me that was the best idea. Like yeah, the grandson should be the new Green Hornet. I don't know. It just like and nobody else. I think Kevin Smith touched it a little bit, but like nobody
Mhm.
else really did that. And I'm like, no, that's it should just be generational.
I've never read any of that. I never read the now. I never read the
That's all.
Kevin
That's
Smith
all set
one.
up in the first issue. The first issue. You never read the first issue of Green Hornet, the Stranko cover? Beautiful.
No.
The insides are garbage.
Yeah, I
I
remember. I remember it feeling very cheap. I always felt now comics felt cheap.
The colors were bad. So even if you had a decent artist, which except for like Terminator Burning Earth, which was like the first Alex Ross comic,
Right.
which I don't think he got paid for.
Yeah, or he got paid very little.
Very
Yeah, it was
little.
it was always that. I don't think he finished it. I think someone else had to go in and finish it. Um, yeah, this I wasn't really expecting to. I wasn't expecting because again, what issue is this? We've been with this character as partner the whole time, and I don't think that it can't not be him. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing is like so they're rearranging some things in here which I think are really fun. Just to go back to the Dick Tracy movie a little bit. See, to me, it's so crazy that they turned that around in a year. So maybe I think you're right, but it's just so crazy the fandom of that, like that we just were adopting it. And I think I had a magazine. I feel like I had
Well, it's
like
not like they
a
had to
Dick
do
Tracy
special effects,
official
Mark.
magazine, and
It's
it
not like
went for every actor.
they didn't have to do a year worth of like CG work. It was like, let's film it, and while we're getting ready to film it, start making all the puppets. It's just planning. Proper planning
Was it
prevents
color grading? I just don't know how they did the things. Like I feel like now after like Lord of the Rings and color grading is a thing, but I feel like so they had to what have like big spotlights and stuff. Like how did they do that?
probably. So, I mean, Warren he did do some theater. Like they are familiar with like you just hire lighting experts.
Goddamn,
You
but
hire great
fucking
cinematographers.
like
He knows
Warren Beatty
everyone.
does everything I know if it wasn't for Warren Beatty, he wouldn't have gotten the cast, right?
Correct.
Warren Beatty's the fucking worst though in that movie. He's the worst. He's just so flat and too old. Like it's just like he's the worst Dick Tracy. He's not funny. He's not like he's so flat in all of it. And then for whatever reason, and we've talked about this a few times, he will hold on to those fucking rights. And every couple of years, some loophole, he knows this. His lawyer tells him this. He has to film something as Dick Tracy. One time he interviews himself on AMC, and one time he has Ben Mankiewicz interview him in a Dick Tracy costume. And then the last time it was during the pandemic, so he shot himself on Zoom with, I think, Leonard Maltin and Ben Mankiewicz. It's fucking bizarre.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
look,
get it. Just give it up. Give
just
it
give it
like
up.
you're 80
You're
years
not
old.
going to do it. He might even be older than that. Like, why are you
Like you
holding on
you
to
you
it?
had your opportunity to do a sequel. You could have done a sequel in 2000 and it probably would have been acceptable. A low budget, well written. If you'd given us a well written Dick Tracy movie, everyone would go see it. Even today, I worry like it would just like even if let's say he dies, does does the rights revert or does he have like a Warren Beatty company that technically has the rights?
I don't know.
Because it's kind of messed up if you're just sitting on them. But if he
Yeah,
dies,
it's such bad planning and such like bad or I guess maybe good contract. Like it's so funny, during the news.
although
I know we talked about the Marvel like the
him holding on to the rights might have prevented us from getting a McGee's Dick Tracy, you know?
right.
Like we don't know what the late 90s, early 2000s would have got. Seth
Well,
Rogen could have been Dick Tracy instead of Green Hornet.
ugh. I'll never see that. I'm not interested in seeing that.
It's okay.
I'll never see it. I'm
I
fine.
only seen it because I love Green Hornet so much. I love Green Hornet so much, yet I've read 10% of his books. 10% of like I tried to
Mhm.
go on a Green Hornet reading binge. I started reading the Golden Age books, and I'm like, oh, these are a chore. Every issue is the same.
Right,
Like
right.
there's some Golden Age books that are just effortless. Like so you can read Golden Age Superman. Like Siegel and Schuster really knew what they were doing.
Mhm.
You know, Simon and Kirby know what they're doing. But a lot of the public domain characters and Green Hornet, comics just not good. The more pulpy a comic is, like the less good it is. Unless you're something
Right,
special, like Will Eisner doing Spirit. That's something special, you
right.
know.
Or it's odd, like Starlight and stuff like that. Like what was that? Who was the guy?
Oh,
That guy?
Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah,
Yeah,
unless it's
yeah.
like just out of his mind weird.
Yeah,
You know
yeah. I
what I
mean, the
mean?
more the more weird it is, the better the comic is. But like when you try to just do like a pulp character, like Crimson Avenger, boring. That's why they give him like a stupid costume like a year in.
Mhm.
Like Crimson Avenger comes out before Batman, by the way. It's just a fedora, red scarf. You know what I mean? Like he's not like really like that crazy looking. Then
Right,
3 years later, it's skin tights with like a fin on his head and you know,
right. It's like chainmail. Yeah, like they change it. They kept changing it, and they
yeah,
even tried to bring that around in the '80s. Like DC did a miniseries.
yeah.
I feel like I've had that a couple times. I
That
never read it, and I just kept selling it. I kept getting it and selling it.
what's funny is like when I remember getting that series in the 80s because I was into that all sorts of weird stuff in the 80s. And Bill Bede of Frankenstein Comics was like, that guy's in jail, right? For killing his wife or something? The artist of that book. And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, all comic people are crazy. He's like, Hollywood shot himself, and this guy did that. And because like I'd always be like, oh, I'd love to meet this person, love to meet this person. And Bill Bede's like, listen, they're just dudes. Like you can get 100 comic creators in this room, and some are perverts, and some are this, some are that. They're just normal people. I'm like, Bill,
Yeah,
I looked up to these people.
I know. Unfortunately, he's
You
correct.
mean
You
you
know,
mean they don't have the morals of Superman themselves? Mark Englert,
Mark Engler. Yeah, I circled
artist.
him because like I think he's doing great work here. Have I was in a shop yesterday. I was at Plunder
Yeah.
Palace yesterday, and he got a heavy metal collection, and it's really hard to find heavy metal like 274, and they didn't have it. He had he had 200 issues of heavy metal. He had like four or five short boxes,
What's
magazines.
274?
Yeah, Mark Englert recolored Jack Kirby's Lord of Light stuff. I have a
Oh, Mark
digital copy
Englert.
of it. Yep.
You didn't. Oh, I didn't know he. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think I have a digital copy of
And
that. I forgot that he recolored that. Totally
around
forgot.
that time, for like 2 years after, they sold prints of that, like large prints of that.
Yeah, I remember that people selling that in Baltimore.
Yeah. But now they're like super hard to find, and like it's just they're not, you can't
They
find them.
were they were making toys out of them.
I have a Super 7 one. I have
Okay.
a I have a Lord of Light over there.
Does it glow in the dark?
I don't think so.
I think they made some glow in the dark ones look really neat.
Yeah, I don't think
All right,
so. So,
you
this
know,
book's a year late. Again, okay,
meaning they should have had this book out. Not that this book is a year late. They should
yeah,
have been producing this comic whilst the movie was out.
this is a really fun, bloody comic book, and
Yes.
for better or worse, see, I feel like all the stuff I'm knowing about all this like Ryan Reynolds stuff, I feel like he now is like I feel like I believe all of it. I feel like he's a bully, his wife's a bully. Like I'm not happy about it, So now I'm actually like I don't really want any more Deadpool things. I think I'm out. I think I'm all right. I think I'm kind of burnt out from it. So
Give it a break. But I
because
could use some more Cable
now,
stuff.
right? Because now I feel like all the stories like now T.J. Miller's right. You know what I mean? Like there was no reason for T.J. Miller to be kind of thrown out of the industry, but his story
He
has
was
more
TJ
resonance
Miller was
now.
being thrown out for other reasons.
Yeah, I know he has problems, but like I feel like his story, that story is true. I feel that story is 100%
Yeah.
true, and now it's only more validated that it's true. That they had a couple extra takes, and he was being like mean, but he was being mean personal to T.J. Miller as a person,
Right,
and
not
it's
Weasel,
odd.
not the
Yeah,
character of Weasel. Right.
it's odd. So like as much as I kind of like the Deadpool character, I just feel like, especially seeing him, it's almost the same setting as the movie too. Like it's kind of like I don't know. What is Maverick in Weapon X-Men? No, 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 right? But Maverick,
No, he's not. He should be,
yeah.
but he's
But
not.
Maverick was in the Mystique. Maverick's been around a lot this year.
Maverick's a
Um,
good. That's a good Jim Lee character. It's a year of Jim Lee.
yeah.
At least they're trying to make it. It's not, but they're trying to make it. This is great. I love this artist. I think he's doing a
This is
fantastic
so
job with this
much,
book.
yeah, I know, but this is so much more fun than than like the Wolverine
Revenge.
Revenge, which
I
is I
know.
think is late, and it's just I'm getting the stuff that I thought I was going to get. I was supposed to get all this gnarly stuff from Capullo, and I didn't get it. And I'm getting it from this guy, Joshua Cassaro, who's pretty new because he did the X-Force run, I believe.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Who
And
colored
Ben
this? Do you remember?
Percy, no, I don't think I
All
have
right.
but
Well, there's not the X-Force colorist.
I don't think so.
The
No.
X-Force colorist is like top notch.
Yeah,
All
I don't
right.
know.
This book. I love this book too, man. I'm having such a good time with this book. Did you?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
this book's super
Okay.
fun. The first couple pages actually this is Bernard Chang, but Bernard Chang I thought it was like almost like Gary Frank at first. But yeah, I was happy. I was happy that we got a couple pages of Bernard Chang. Actually, what's weird is I think the last issue for Federici did about 10 pages, and I liked that, but I feel like this is the right balance. And then I say
Yes.
that. However, I wanted a couple extra pages of Bernard Chang. As soon as I said that, I was like, man. So now I'm actually like taking that back. But no, I think this is really fun. I feel like this is going to be a really, really good
It's a
like full read.
it's a great piece of
Um,
an origin. Like it's a great like setting up something like because the new gods are so old and like we don't know enough about their origins. So giving us a piece of that and then coming to here, awesome. This
yeah,
artwork's so
having
drastically different.
yeah,
Oh,
and there's so much
it's
tech
amazing.
that Evan Cagle has done, and again, Dawn Runner has got to be on your list. We got to rest up our list.
It
Yeah,
is on my list.
I'll finish Void
It's actually
Rivals.
it's actually in my iPad. It's just a
Okay,
matter of getting to it.
okay.
I'm trying to get through Green Lantern first.
Right.
I'm like
Yeah.
18 issues into Jarby Adams run. So
Okay. That's close. It's like 20 something now, right? You're
yeah,
kind
20
of
something,
close.
and then like Green Lantern Corps 1 and 2. Maybe another special is like around issue 18 or 19.
7
Yeah.
days are up. Yeah, but what's the movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis? This feels like that a little bit. Is it
Looper?
Looper? Yeah, because I feel like this is because that was like we got to get rid of that kid. We got to kill that kid. This is kind of similar in that vein.
Yeah.
Orion's there to kill that kid, and they're there to protect that kid. But I love Orion's like this costume. I think is crazy cool. I like this that he's kind of
It's
dragging.
very anime. It's very
Yeah,
like yeah.
he's dragging. This is like swordish thing there. Um, yeah, and I knew this was going to happen. That's fine. I love the big Barda portrayal in here, but
Great
this kid probably is
great
not
transfer of
like.
energy from that punch. This is a Zack Snyder scene in a comic.
Mm,
Go back a page. That punch is in slow motion. And then the next
right.
panel, whoosh, sped up.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh,
way to
I see what
draw
you're
Zack
saying.
Snyder.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's almost like a question mark there. So,
That's the
Um,
great thing about comics, dude. You read them at your own pace. You create the speed,
you create the speed,
and
yeah,
when the more immersed you are in a comic, the better all this feels.
yeah,
He's doing a good job, and the
yeah,
art's incredible. Writing and art, dude.
yeah. Renvy picks some good partners, man. He's I think he's doing a good job. I think there was one or two other books I wanted to throw in, and then I just didn't. Well, again, we're trying to make the reviews a little bit tighter. Did you have anything else that you read that
Honorable
we
mentions.
didn't? Yeah,
I mean, I read a bunch of stuff, but it all kind of blurs now that I'm on the spot.
yeah.
I should have wrote some stuff down.
That Dark Horse book, the Dark Horse Murder book, was pretty solid. That was issue 3 of that. That those not devil like whatever that was called. Those not afraid. That was solid.
I didn't read that
Um,
yet. I didn't read anything. I think other than I mean, I read a couple of extra things on the list, but not much. I think I
yeah,
just yeah,
but
maybe I got something right here. Let me see. Absolute Batman, Absolute Flash, Batman Year One. Oh, Bug Wars. I like Bug Wars. That was a good
oh yeah, I didn't read that. I'm waiting to read that. It's weird. I want to savor that, and I just had such a good time with everything else. I know it's gonna be solid, so I kind of left it. I left it out, to read. That's 6. I think that's 6 issues. So yeah,
yeah.
so I'm
That's a
excited to read that.
miniseries at 6. Yeah.
I'm excited to read that. But yeah, I knew that was going to be very solid. I know it's not going to probably be better than the first one, but probably pretty close. So, but again,
Maybe not.
comment, subscribe, put in what you're reading. What are you reading? What should we try?
Because more than
What?
likely we either read it or we checked it out. But if you read it and want us to read it, we'll read it.
Yeah.
What the hell? We friggin' love comics. We'll just read. Like
Yeah.
we're never going to argue with this. We're never going to be like, oh, check out something. I can't even think of a book that I don't read. You know,
Right, right. Yeah, we're trying different things. Yeah, but comment, subscribe, go back and watch that Last Blood. We're gonna do some extra special stuff. Mrs.
maybe
Messick's gonna be out of state next weekend. So I get
so.
Rob all to myself.
We'll get some Last Blood 2.
I'm
We'll get
gonna
to Last Blood
film
2.
the whole weekend.
We're
You
just
know,
you
there's a
can watch
con.
it.
Oh crap, there's a con next weekend
You
too
can watch it on our OnlyFans.
in Cherry Hill. It's a con on Sunday, so
It's comic OnlyFans.
comic only fans. So, all right, on that note, let's wrap it
Let's
up.
wrap it up.
Where's my thing?
Something I don't have
Yeah.
to do since I'm married.
Oh my God. Thank you for that.